right? I mean, to help them get through this tough market. Well, I mean, one would argue this isn't exactly a tough market
for them. They have market dominance.
Yeah, absolutely. So, so what are they doing? They are going after new construction because, this builder is eventually going to run out of land. And then they're also heavily prospecting their database, their past clients and people in their center of influence with the CMA thing that we talked about yesterday. And then if that person says, no, I'm going to keep it forever, I'm never moving, whatever, you turn that call into who do you know who could use my help buying or selling real estate?
So here's a question I bet you some of the listeners are asking, and man, we do have to get to our topic.
Yep.
Why would someone like some of these clients that you and I have had for 10, 15 years, some of these clients have been with us since we started coaching in the late 90s. Same exact people. And I was just one of our first coaching clients, Michael and Robin Gordon. Yeah. You guys should Google Michael and Robin Gordon. They are literally, I bet you they're coaching client number 2. They are the most dominant agents in the main line in a very expensive area in Pennsylvania. Mainline Pennsylvania, Michael and Robin Gordon, Google them. So why would all of these people stay with us for this many years? And I think it's a great question that everyone should be asking because don't people normally think, well, you're supposed to always be upgrading your coach? You should always be upgrading your coach if your coach isn't always upgrading themselves.
You can stop right there.
Yeah, and that is the bottom line. And we've had coaching clients tell us that. They say if you and Julie, or if Julie and you speaking to her, they would say if you guys would have stalled out years ago in your own forward progression, in your own aspiration, had we not continued to move, had we not continued to build our wealth, expand our company, if we ourselves didn't stay ahead of essentially the curve that they were on themselves, if we stalled out and they passed us in their ascension and wealth creation, then we wouldn't have earned the right to remain their coaches. And a lot of times you guys you're really not very selective at all on who you hire to be your coach.
Well, and also if you stay with the same kind of coaching pattern and you're not really fluid with what they're dealing with and how they've changed and how the market changes, right? So the conversations that you have with the Moultons or I have with the Kenmores now are completely different than last year or 5 years ago or when they got their licenses, when they started, whatever.
Well, when they get older too.
Of course. They're dealing with changes.
Right. We have dozens of coaching clients just like these that Julie and I have been blessed to have since really we were in what would have been our late 20s. It's extraordinary to think about.
It is.
Considering we're both, Well,
you're in your 50s.
Yeah, something like that. I don't remember. But anyway,
exactly.
So yeah, it's amazing. And it's fascinating just to take a moment and show appreciation for past Tim and Julie, right?
Sure.
Because that's what we're talking about, showing appreciation for past efforts, but certainly showing massive appreciation for all of our coaching clients.
Yeah, and gratitude.
Because those are coaching clients, really, ultimately, the role, it's cathartic, right? You're coaching someone to accomplish certain specific goals, and you can't really you're kind of a hypocrite if you're not actually doing ascension yourself. If you're not creating better, creating better business opportunities for other people, and just all the things that we focus on all day. It's incredible.
It is. And I'm grateful for it.
I feel very blessed, don't you?
Indeed.
Yeah.
So on that note, topic du jour, back to pricing rules and talking about listing appointments. Don't go if you don't know some specific things.
We titled this one, Are You Finally Ready to Become a Listing Agent, by the way? So this is part 2.
Yes. And so the traps that you guys fall into with not winning on a competitive listing situation or taking the listing but having some consternation either too high or too low on price, all of these things get down to lack of pre-qualification. So we're talking about the importance of actually pre-qualifying. Yesterday we started this series, so we're going to continue it. And yesterday we talked about you must know things like the average days in the market for the specific property in that actual neighborhood, the list to sell price ratio, the number of homes competing with your subject property, and then is there new construction in the area that competes with you? So let me rewind before we get to that's point number 5. There's a little secret that will help you with pricing. And I know this sounds really incredibly boring, but I have suffered through it myself, okay? Next time you have to do continuing education, you need those CE credits, or now they're calling it something else, qualifying education. Take an appraisal class. This is going to help you become a more confident pricer, and it will also show you the actual rules that appraisers actually have to abide by so you can stop getting upset with them when they, call the shots on the price, because there are actually rules that they have to follow.
Also worth doing is a class at your MLS on how to actually use your MLS.
Indeed. Yeah. I know. Little known fact. The MLS does a lot more than you think it does.
Right. Most MLS systems, you can actually drill down to the point where you can find out exactly, so I'll set the stage for you. You have a listing appointment this weekend. you don't necessarily know the two other agents you're competing against. Well, wouldn't it be powerful if you actually could go and know exactly how many transactions they've done in the last 12 months? How many of those transactions were sellers? How many of those transactions were buyers? Imagine if you are going to the MLS and discovering you're competing against two other agents. You go to the MLS, you discover that not only, let's say you're going on a listing for $1 million, and you find out that both of these agents have only been selling houses to buyers at, say, for example, $300,000, and you've actually sold listings in the price range of the house that you're actually going to be pitching for. Wouldn't that put you in a competitive advantage over those